Got a new tent to try out. It's a bit heavier than the older one that I normally use, or the one I use over Christmas and New Year. But it's a bit more heavy duty, so the forecast rain from, I believe, 3 o'clock in the morning through to 9 o'clock in the morning. Well, my new tent, the Vango CAIRNGORM 200 Trek. As you can see, we had rain last night. Not sure if you can see the rain on my tent. And it's really windy, but it held up really well. It's got a hydrostatic head of 5,000 millimeters and a hydrostatic floor of 6,000 millimeters. So it's extremely waterproof. Easy to pitch, obviously a two-man tent, and it's surprising how big it actually is. Oh, I pitched really close to this tree last night because it's the flattest bit of ground I could find. It's got some lovely features with it. These little flaps here, they're not air vents, but the idea is when you open the door, it stops the rain dripping into the inner. Sorry about the mud on the tent there. It's got an eyelet in the hole here, which you can actually stick a walking pole in. So you can actually have the porch open. So when the door's, like I was saying, right open, it stops the rain falling down inside. It's got quite a big vestibule there. The door rolls up really well into this spot here. I'll give a little rundown on it shortly. So on the end of this tent, both ends, you have air vents. There's one on this side, which is the inner and the outer, and the same on the other end. The tent's got a few little features I love. For one thing, it's the zip. It's a good quality zip, and the bottom has these big loops. So excuse me, bottom has these big loops, so easy to grab hold of, easy to operate. And the top has just a cord. Same thing again, easy to operate. But one good thing is it means in the dark, it's easy to distinguish which actually zip you got hold of. And it comes with a storm guide system, which actually on both sides, when it's not being used, tucks into these little pockets here, which is a handy thing. Now, unlike my other tent, they were only thin. Now these are really substantial. There you go, the tension band system. So I'll pop the camera down and roll up the door and get back to you. So, do excuse the mess in the vestibule. Right, so this is the tension band system inside and connected. As you can see, it goes through a little Velcro fastening in the doorway here. But as you can see, it's got a bit of a kink in it. That seems to be a bit of a downside, this one, because I did have to use it last night. So what I actually did was, it gets in the way of the door, even though the door opens right up, folds into a pocket inside, which I'll show you shortly. What I found better last night is to actually undo it, and if I can get it out, bear with me 1 second, I actually that's how I adjusted it last night. I actually fed it up over the top of the door. So it takes out that kink in it. And I find that actually better. So I'm surprised that it feeds through here and not up here. Maybe that's just me. So as you can see, it's a fairly large vestibule on this tent. And all the anchoring points on the inner tent, one thing I do like is it's actually got metal clasps. And on the lighter weight tents I've used, you have like a rubber strap or elastic strap that attaches the inner to the outer. And same on this, all the way around, you have metal loops that go into a metal ring, which makes it a lot more solid. As you can see, big bathroom design on the inner. Round the other side, which, because I'm camped right next to a tree, isn't that easy to get to as such, so I haven't really used this door much. But same thing again, you've got the steel hooks that attach everything at the bottom. Not a big vestibule on this side, as you'd expect. Velcro sometimes is a pain in the butt. But as you can see here, I have my rucksack tucked in there, between the inner and the outer. It's easier to show you from the inside, which I think I'll do so now. On the pegging points, they have these really substantial straps. So you put your pegs in, just give it a pull to tighten them up. And they're like that all the way around. The guy ropes aren't that thin. One thing I did do before I left home, I swapped the pegs that it came with for ones I had already, and I swapped the carry sack for a lighter weight one which I had, and I saved, I think it was 196 grams by just changing the pegs and the carry sack. So we'll take you inside. One quick note before we go inside is one thing I'd like to point out. On my F10 Helium 2 ultralight by Vango, when it was wet or even in the dry, I found it hard to get the actual pole through the sleeve. The sleeve came down to about here and it's really tight. Now this one, it attaches by these pop on pop off straps at this point to the pole. You've got substantial steel eyelets here, but as you can see there is plenty of space for movement of the pole, so it's easy to thread through. Look, you've got plenty of space. I can get my thumb in there. So I think it's another good feature of this tent compared to some of the ones I've used. As you can see inside the inner tent itself, it's called a two-man, but it was a struggle I think to get two people in here. As always for two-man tents, excuse the mess. Over this side you have 1, 2, 3 large pockets. Then up on the top you've got a hanging point here which goes over to the other side. So here you could put a line in if you wanted to hang anything. There's the other tension band, I'll just disconnect that. Hanging point here, which I've hung my lamp off for last night when I was camping. And 2 pockets up the top. One there and one there. Like I was saying earlier, air vent at each end. So the inner tent's got a no-seam mesh, outer tent's got no-seam mesh. Both ends. And I'll just show you the other doorway. Like I say, no vestibule this side, but there's enough space for me to squeeze my rucksack in between the inner and the outer, and my rubbish bag on the floor. So you have got two doorways. Now as you can see, the tent is still, I'm not sure you can see that, tent is still wet on the outside, but I can actually rub it, look, and not one drop of water. You know, there's a spot of water there, look, by my finger. Nothing actually comes through. This thing is as waterproof as anything. Not sure about high winds. It was really breezy last night, but I am in the trees, so I did have a bit of shelter, so I can't really comment on the wind at this point. But all in all, I actually got this tent from a company through eBay, and I paid £99, 99 pence for it. So far I'm really happy with it. So the door where the vestibule is goes into a pocket here, or you could, because of the bathroom, if you wanted to just leave it on the floor, but it has actually got a pocket here to stuff it into. Keeps all the mud off it if you're going in and out, as I am camping in the woods. As you can see, it is muddy on the floor. So it's fairly large, but you would actually struggle for two people. Now I'm 5'3", and I can sit in it really easy. The actual height is 110 centimetres, and the inner, I believe, is about 90. Plenty of space between the inner and the outer, both sides. As you can see, I haven't got it as tight could be, because the ground here is really soft. Got another tension band on the bottom of the poles here, so you put the pole into the eyelet and then pull it tight, pulls this down to the ground. But for the price I paid, I'm really impressed. Easy to use guy lines on either ends with like a toggle bit. So you just pull that down to tighten it all up. Easy to use toggles on the door, because it's not flimsy material. I found on my helium ultralight, it was a lighter tent, and these little straps here, I struggled to find where the toggle went with one hand. But this one, easy to use. Like I said, the doors, if I grab the one with the loop, I know I've got the one that goes to the floor. There you go. Lovely. So I hope you find this little review helpful. I will pitch it better next time, but I did end up finishing pitching it in the dark last night. But all in all, lovely little tent. So that's the Vango CAIRNGORM 200 Trek. Like I say, I've seen it online for £120, £140, but I got it from eBay through a dealer on there for £99, 99 pence. Weighs in, I think, 2.1 kilos, so they say. Like I said, I saved nearly 200 grams by just changing the pegs and the carry sack. Just thought I'd have a quick note. I did actually pitch it last night in the dark, so when I've pitched the side without the vestibule, the pole should have gone into that metal eyelet there, and I've actually put it in the metal eye loop on the door itself, which is where you stick your walking pole, which is another good feature of this tent. On both sides you have a eyelet in the doorway, so you can put your walking pole in there and have the doorway open for a bit of extra wind and rain protection. So actually on the other side I've actually put the pole into the eyelet on the door instead of the eyelet on the tent. I just thought I'd point that out. Maybe that's why I struggled to open the door, to show you where my rucksack was. I've got to be careful because I've got my cooker on, boiling some water for coffee, so I'll check back with you in a little while.